Hello, everyone. This is John Browning with Guardian Rock Wealth, and we are on another episode of the Building Your Life podcast. And I'm excited today because we have a guest with us, Albert Corey, and he is an expert in tax and accounting services. And Albert, I know you're in Miami, Florida, but you travel all over the United States, much
Mhm.
like we do. And here in Guardian Rock, we can serve people no matter where they are within the US. So just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do, and more importantly than that, Albert, why you do what you do.
Hey everybody. Well, my name is Albert Corey. We've assisted over 160,000 clients from coast to coast. The reason why I do this is back in 1984, back in the Stone Ages, my mom said to me, I was working with them, and she says, I owe the IRS. And I go, what the blank? And that put me on a mission to make sure that no business owner has to overpay or now has to figure out how to increase their profits. Because that's the bottom line with business owners. There's a lot of little things you can do to start increasing your profits almost instantly. And that's what we talk about on the stages and helping our clients.
Yeah, that's we deal a lot with small, mid-sized business owners, and one of the most confusing things and the most causes of the most stress is centered around taxes. And we get these
Uh-huh.
because I'm a business owner too, right?
Right?
And I get, several times now, I've gotten this big, scary letter with a big logo on it that says from the IRS. And so far, in every single case, when I go to my accountant, the IRS has been incorrect and we have been correct. But it is the most scary thing a business owner can get. And you always feel like, what did I do? Right. And what do you say to somebody when they get that message, they get that letter?
Here's my take on that, Mr. John. After 40 years of doing this, there's something there that triggered it. Well, my clients don't get those letters that I caused. I mean, we've had zero audits, IRS, Mr. John. No, you get those letters because something happened or the guy, whoever did their return, did something to trigger it. My point is make sure you go to people that you don't get the trigger.
And that would be you guys.
That's us. We
That's you
make
guys.
sure that there is no triggers.
Now, one of the things that I want to make sure we get out there up front and then at the end, and we're going to include all of your information about
Sure.
how to contact you in the show notes. But what is the best way if somebody wants to get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, there's a couple of ways. You can go to better call Albert .com. That could schedule a call. Or they can call. We have a real office. I have real people who run it. You'll never have an AI voice answering our phones here. So you can even call 305-823-9228, and a live person will answer the phone, guaranteed. Or if we're closed and you get the voicemail, a live person will call you the next business day, guaranteed, or a free return.
All right. I love that because that is probably the other biggest
Uh-huh.
complaint or argument that we get is I get stuck in robo
Right,
call, with oh hit this button or that button, or I never get the call back from
right,
my accountant, or I get it a lot later than I really wanted it. And
right.
so that service aspect is huge.
In fact, I'll tell you a funny story. So I was in the Bahamas because I speak on events all over the country and international. So I was in an event, and obviously I have my programs. So we started talking to people after lunch and hanging out. And you know what? You know how I got five clients at that event? Because they said that the guy never called them back.
That's right.
And it's like, what? I mean, that guy, or they sent them the papers 6 months ago and they still never got back to them.
Yeah, and see, you and I can tell, are aligned on that because it's one of the reasons that I left Wall Street. And one of the reasons that I'm now an independent wealth manager, because we wanted to make sure if you don't get somebody right away, first of all, you're not going to get a junior person if you really want to talk to your portfolio manager. You want to talk to your portfolio manager. That's going to be, for the most part, it's going to be me. You're going to speak directly with me, not somebody who's conveying
Right.
something on my behalf. And if you're a high net worth individual, the amount of money the amount of money that you're entrusting to Guardian Rock Wealth, or the amount of money that you can save through proper tax planning,
Right.
in your case, is enough so that you deserve to have an actual person to talk to, and the person who really understands what it is you need to hear.
Uh-huh.
And that's our philosophy here at Guardian Rock. And it sounds like it's the exact same philosophy that you have, Albert. So I can really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. And from my business point of view, people always say, well, listen, if you know anything about the tax industry, I mean, it is the most fiercest industry in the planet. You know, there's one on every other corner in the Miami
Mm-hmm.
area. There's also TurboTax. And everybody and their mother says they can do it. But yet I got clients for 35 years. Okay.
Well, yeah.
So you can I'll give everybody a business tip. If you got a small business, answer the phone or answer the email, and you'll see how you can outdo Amazon, Home Depot, Office Depot. You can make money and you become I know the guy because you answer the phone. What a concept.
Yeah. And one of the big things that we have in the financial services industry, right, in general, your section, my section in the wealth management, number one, I know that I don't know everything there is to know about tax. I know enough to ask the questions
Right.
of somebody like yourself. And I know enough to tell people, hey, you're not saving, you're not keeping the money that you deserve in your pocket. You're sending extra money to Uncle Sam that you don't need to be doing. So you need to talk to Albert. But I know enough to know that I shouldn't pack my own parachute and jump out of the plane.
Oh, I love that answer for sure. You know, for sure. It's like the biggest joke that happened to me even a couple of days ago. Um, the lady said, "Oh, I don't need you to open up the corporation for you." Okay, but she called me 14 times how to open it up. But yeah, oh, I don't need you. You overcharge. I said, okay, well then I can do it. I said, okay, then why I don't tell her to say that. I mean, because I'm not a meat-natured person, but I'm saying, why are you calling me? If you think you can do it yourself, okay, then why are you calling me? Oh, how do you go to Sunbiz or what do I need to click? Then don't
Right.
call me. Don't call me. Do it.
Yeah.
Or
And
you pay me and it's done in 3 clicks. And you can go make money doing something else.
one of my other favorites is, well, you can YouTube anything and I can learn exactly what you do on YouTube. And I think that's probably the biggest danger out there today, because would you, if if you're if it's that important, do you really want your doctor, if you want your surgeon YouTubing what he's going to do surgery on you or your loved one 10 minutes before he does it or while he's doing it? Probably not. If this is your financial future for the rest of your life, do you really want to YouTube that and watch all the different points of view out there? Do you want to talk to a licensed professional that has done this for the past, in my case, over 30 years? How many years have you been doing this? A long
I've
time?
been doing this 40
87? Yeah,
since 85. But
since
John,
'85.
can I add to that analogy even better?
Absolutely.
So here's, because we do bookkeeping. So QuickBooks says the average um small business owner takes about 4 to 10 hours a month doing QuickBooks. Let's just say average 5. So if you are a small business guy, right? So, the biggest problem in small business is I don't have time for my family, right? Or I don't have time for prospect, right? You agree. So
Mm-hmm.
why are you
Yeah.
doing your own QuickBooks? our rates are so reasonable. So those 5 hours a month, that you would pay us like $200, you can either be spending those 5 hours hanging out with your family, not doing burnout, or prospecting, make more money. So why are you doing your own bookkeeping?
Yeah, and that
Doesn't make any sense. Oh,
doesn't
I can
make
do
any
my own
sense.
bookbook. Oh, then fine, then kill those 5 hours. And then don't complain when oh, I need more time for then don't complain
It's
about burnout or not enough leads.
it's a choice for sure. And in my case, I learned early on that I will mess up my books in a royal way. And yeah,
Right,
it's not that I'm dumb, I do what I do really,
right.
really well. And I want to concentrate on that. And you're right, I want to spend time with my family and everything else and build my best life. That's the whole theme
I like
of, of the book, of the podcast, and everything else. How are you going to do that if you're doing something you don't like to do, you're not that good at, and you're probably eventually going to make a mistake on it?
can I use that line next week when I'm in Chicago when I'm talking
Yeah.
about bookkeeping? I said you got choices. You can build your best life with your family or go spend prospecting. But I like that line. You got your choice in those 5 hours.
Yeah.
You decide. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. And you can't make is, the old analogy is
Can't get the time back.
you can't make more time. That's absolutely
Right.
right. Sometimes I use the analogy, or I'll actually, when I'm speaking in front of a group, I'll hold up an old fashioned hourglass and I'll cover the top part. Well, the top part is your future, and you can't see that. You don't know how much of that sand is in there. None of us do, as much as we feel like we're invincible and we feel, oh, we're healthy and everything else. We don't know if we got tomorrow or if we got 50 years.
Right.
All the stuff that really matters is right in that little tiny spot in
Bottom.
between. But the bottom is
Oh
the
no, the little
past.
spot. Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom is the past. We can't change the past,
The
but we can
little
see
the
it. We
little
can
doodad in
learn.
the middles. Right. You're right.
Yeah, you can learn from that. But in the middle, that's you got that choice to make, and you got that choice to make right now because that sand is falling through. So building your best life is all about, to me, doing what you want, when you want, with whom you want, how you want, and
Oh, I
deciding
agree.
what that is and why that is. And doing something that you're not an expert at, to me, is just not the right answer for most people.
No, I
So
agree 100%.
I'm really glad that you guys exist because I really don't like accounting. I really just don't like it. And I don't like bookkeeping and anything, but I like reading the final financial
You
statement.
like
I get to
Mr.
paint that
John.
picture.
The only thing you should be looking at is what is the bottom line, or looking at the income statement and figuring out that all you really need to do, you need that income statement every month to tell me what am I overspending on or what do I need to put more money into.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
right.
I do the income statement every month or profit and loss.
Look at that cash flow. Where's the money going? Where's the
Right,
money coming in from? Exactly.
right.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. We're going to run out of time here in a little bit, but before we go, if you we've already talked about some of these things, but if you had one thing that you wanted to pass on to it doesn't even have to be a small business owner or mid-size or a business owner, but to an individual who is struggling with, oh, it's too expensive. I've got to try and figure this out and do this on myself. What is the one thing you would tell them?
I would tell you it's costing you more money to try to figure it out yourself. You know, I would tell you if money is an object, then figure out a way to clear out some space on your credit card. Or Grant Cardone, a great quote from Grant Cardone says, you just got to make more money. That's Grant Cardone's
Yeah.
quote from when I did his stuff like 6 or 7 years ago. And the $8,000 I spent, I learned this quote that I'll never forget is it's not about inflation. It's about how much money are you making to pay your stuff. So if you're complaining that there's not enough, that you have no money to pay, then go figure out how to make more money. Inflation shouldn't be the problem. It's going out and making the money to cover your stuff.
Right. And I also what I think about with that too is, everybody goes to work or they do what they do, and they do it for what? To generally speaking, to make the money that they need to build their best life. Hopefully, it's not to make the money to make more money, because I think then you end up being a miserable rich person,
Right.
which
Not
is,
right. But you're
but it,
right. To make your best life. Because obviously, um, we just came back from Denver, with my kids and granddaughter, and everybody. And right, it cost, I mean, I went to the Panther game the other night, and spent in the nosebleeds, but my kids wanted to go and we paid a lot of money. But guess what? Who cares? You do well, and now when you do well, Mr. John, you do whatever you want.
right,
It's all it's
exactly.
all about. The quality is how well you do. You now you can do anything you want.
And one of the things too that I am guessing, but you correct me if I'm wrong, is you also, I'm sure, identify risks, because there are
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of risks out there, because I don't fully understand the tax code, nor do I want to. You do. You will point out the risk, which is much like we do in the wealth management space, because there's a lot of risks out there that people just don't think about every day. But I'm thinking about every day because I've probably seen it over the past
Oh
34
yeah.
years. And you'll point out, hey, this is your risk. You decide whether or not you want to sometimes pay to mitigate that risk or not,
I
because it
agree.
always costs something to mitigate risk. Almost always costs something to mitigate risk.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I will tell you, the people who get into trouble the most after 35, 40,000 business clients is it goes back to the profit and loss. The people who get into trouble don't know their numbers. So if you want to mitigate your loss, you better make sure you're keeping track of your expenses and income. That's simple. If you feel that, oh shit, I'm negative or I need more money, then you better figure out how to cut the expenses
Mm-hmm.
or make more money. But you got to keep, that's how you, in my world, that's how you mitigate everything. You just got to keep track.
Yeah. And don't just
And
do it every quarter. You need to
you
do
need,
that every
listen,
month.
listen, in my personal stuff,